Keeping up with James. It was the winter holiday season on the island of Sodor. Everywhere was covered in a beautiful blanket of soft snow. The Facature was at the fitters yard. The engines were having their snowplows fitted. He boomed. All the engines wanted to take the presents train. It was the jolliest train of the year, he said. But James wanted to finish first and take the presents train. He huffed. James and Edward's first job was to clear the line to Knapford.
That's what's been going on.
Edward worked as fast as he could, but it wasn't fast enough for James. He snorted. Henry was clearing the line when James steamed quickly past. Cried Henry.
I don't need to carry.
But James wasn't listening. He was dreaming about the present. But James wasn't listening. He was dreaming about the presents train. He didn't notice that the tracks were icy, and James's wheels began to slip and slide. He cried. He was going faster and faster. Called James. He was enjoying himself. He was sliding so fast that he slid all the way to Mayfleet Station. Later, James and Edward had to take some coal trucks to the coaling plant. James waited for Edward. He listened to the choir and watched the beautiful of all the colorful decorations being put up. James wanted to take the presents train more than ever. Finally, Edward puffed in. Called James. Gasped Edward. Snorted James, and they pulled away. James raced to the coaling plant as fast as he could. He puffed. James reached on top of the Gordon's Hill. The tracks were icy, and James started to speed up. Edward wasn't happy. James's wheels started to slip and slide. Cried James. James thought it was the best slide ever. At the coaling plant, James and Edward's train has been filled up with coal. Edward calls James. Replied James. And James pulled down. They headed for that. And James pulled down, and they headed for Brandon Docks. James puffed happily. He started to go faster and faster and faster, but he didn't know how very icy the tracks were. His wheels started to slip and slide. Cried James, and he plied his brakes as fast as he could. Edward tried to brake as well, but it was too late. Cried James. Wished Edward. The Facature arrived on Salty. He was very cross. He boomed. James felt bad. Said the Facature. Called James. The Facature wasn't sure. He said James felt pleased. He puffed. And so Edward pulled James back on the rails. Later, at Brandon Docks, the two engines collect the presents train and set off carefully for Knapford. Whenever they came for some icy trucks, Edward called out, and James slowed down, and they went down Gordon's Hill. Edward called out, and James applied his brakes. So slowly and safe, the two friends puffed into Knapford Station. When the children saw their presents, they cheered and cheered. Called Edward. Said James.